about you? Do you think that he threw them under the bus?
Uh, I think I think that he didn't know what was going on. I feel like he got hit. I feel like he thought he got hit by a bus. So I have a working theory.
Okay.
I have a working theory. I have a working theory of why you said Unc might have did this on purpose. You know what I mean? And I would say that my working theory is that Unc did this so people could get off Deion Sanders' back. 'Cause they've all week, all week they've been killing Deion after that loss to Nebraska. You know, it's my little. This is not my little. We don't do anything little here. This is my Boom on Sports segment. Part of this conversation. Deion Sanders been
On
getting killed
sports.
because of the way they lost to Nebraska, and everybody been just whipping them with just this happened last year. The quarterback did this and all that, and your offensive line ain't good. And, da, 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 da. And Shannon Sharpe said, "You know what, Deion, I got you. I'm gonna take this one for the team. I'm gonna take this one for the team, so that they can stop talking about you. Take some of that light they can talk about me, so you can focus on Colorado State, because that's what's coming up this weekend. Uh, the Colorado Buffaloes versus Colorado State, and now that all that attention is on Unc and Ocho, they probably got a show going on right now. Dion and the team could just focus. They could just focus. So if I was Coach Prime, I would just send Shannon, maybe buy up some of his cognac, and just say, hey, here, I got a couple cases. I'm gonna get those out. But yeah, man, Colorado State. It's going down this weekend. It's going to be a national televised game, and we're going to see if the Buffaloes can bounce back after a hard loss at Nebraska last week. It's very interesting, just to see how the media has covered this week. There have been, like I said, there's been a lot of just, I mean, you want to say after the Sean Keeler situation, you knew that once Deion took a loss, or once he took a hard loss like he did this time, which was kind of similar to the Oregon loss, that it was like, it's like having, from the stuff that I've watched this week, it's like being, somebody got a fence, right? And they got a bunch of hungry dogs that ain't fed, and then somebody decided to leave the fence open, and you the postman.
Mm-hmm.
That's how the media been coming after Coach Prime this week. I mean,
Food
they
for
are
the
coming. I have
people.
seen some real hatred. I have seen people play the good old boys club card, and they just want. I've seen people make predictions that he won't be there next year. That he's playing daddy ball. There's been a lot that's been said, and I said earlier this year when I started, when the football season started, that we gotta wait till week 3 to see what a team really is. I mean, look at Oregon. They the last 2 weeks they've won, but they haven't played that good. This has been a lot of teams that haven't played that good in the first 2 weeks. But I think by week 3, you kind of know what your team is and what your team isn't. And so, though a lot of talking media heads have made a lot of sense from a schematic standpoint when it comes to certain things. Like Colorado definitely needs to pound the rock. They got some really good running backs. I really like, in the limited snaps that I've seen, what I've seen out of number 7, from the former Ohio State Buckeye, Dallin Hayden. And he's just not like a one tackle, like when you get him, when you line him up, he's not going down after the first person. They also have another running back, Micah, I forget his name, that seems to be somebody who runs hard. And then also have Charlie, who I think he's been getting a hard time, but he can't help what the scheme is doing. I'm not saying that Charlie Offerdahl is all that in a bag of chips, but I think that as a good change of pace, as a good hard runner, if the scheme permits him to actually use his skill set to the best of his ability, I think he can do a lot better job than what most people have been saying. They just been calling him an experiment, but it's a reason why they awarded him that scholarship and essentially made him the starter. So a lot of changes that need to be made. I've heard Coach JB talk about how you just can't change the scheme up in 1 week. It has to be a gradual thing. So it's going to be interesting to see how they do and how they handle everything at Colorado State. It's going to be interesting to see also because they're going back to back with rivals. I kind of wish I would love to have seen these games switched and actually played Colorado State and then having to go to a hostile environment and possibly win, then go up to Nebraska. I think that would have been a better outcome for the schedule, but that you got to play the teams that's on your schedule the way they're on your schedule. So it is what it is. That being said, I think this is going to be it's either going to be a super close matchup or Colorado's going to put their foot in the ground and really just run all over them. I think they have a point to prove. I said earlier this week that I think they're in the best position to show everybody that they are way better than the showing that they did last week. And if they can do that, I think they can go far. I like how Coach Prime kind of stayed out of that personal territory when they were trying to ask him about the other coach's wife and all this and all that, and just keep it on the game. I think he's done somewhat of a better job in the media, and just keeping the focus on the game and things of that nature. That being said, a lot has been made about Shadeur walking off the field and his comments about the offensive line. Now, I saw a couple of my brothers from Off the Top Sports. They were doing a live earlier, and they were just talking about how it was just a roundtable discussion about was it right, was it wrong with the offensive line. I'll say this, you know what I mean? Yes, they say that as a quarterback you should never throw your offensive line underneath the bus, but I will say that probably because of the NIL dollars, the offensive linemen are almost in a way getting paid to do a better job than they've been doing. And I would say that from their arrival, once they all locked in, Shadeur kind of took care of them this offseason, made sure he was taking them on trips and doing all this and all that to make sure that they was taken care of in that sense. And if at some point, like if you're getting paid to do this, even though we're not officially there, because I know that it's still like a year away from when the schools start paying the athletes, but the NIL is still a thing. At some point, that frustration. I know that he talked about on his podcast earlier this year how he had a little PTSD. He had to work his way out of that because of just getting hit so much last year. So I think that I don't know if it's a right or a wrong answer to that, but you, the watcher, the anybody who's watching this, you can tell me what you think about it. Do you think it was right? Do you think it was wrong? Do you think that Shadeur shouldn't have thrown his offensive line under the bus? Do you think he was throwing his offensive line under the bus? So, to you, get in the comments. Let me know what you think about that.